Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Sneha for CELPIP and IELTS. And in today's video, we are going to discuss multiple choice questions that are asked in IELTS. So often you would have seen that both in general IELTS and academic IELTS, these multiple choice questions are there, in which there is a statement given. There is a statement of the question, and to answer that there are four options given to you: A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have to choose one correct answer. So that's a multiple choice question MCQs that are there in IELTS. Now in your general IELTS, you will find these types of question in third section of reading module. So in the last reading comprehension, you will find these types of questions. On the other hand, in your academic IELTS, it can be anywhere. It can be placed anywhere. All right. So with that, let's begin the discussion. Now, when we talk about multiple choice questions, before we actually start solving them, there are certain pointers that you have to keep in mind regarding multiple choice question. And these are: number one, only one correct option. Please note that in your MCQs, there can be only one correct answer. There cannot be two correct answers to one question. It's only going to be one correct answer. And you have to fill that particular number or alphabet of the option as your answer. Then, understand and verify fully, not partially. Now here, what I mean to say is that when you're reading the question, and after that you read the options, then you refer to the text to find the correct answer. So while matching your options with the text, do not, I would say, rush up towards marking the correct answer. Make sure, spend enough time on the options. Make sure that you read the options completely. And you're not only focusing on certain keywords, you have to understand the meaning of the option. Understand the statement completely. Do not base your answer only on certain keywords. Do not make this mistake, because keywords can also be the traps. I always say this thing, that keywords, they can be traps. If you're only focusing on certain keywords for the correct answer, there is a higher chance that it can be marked wrong. All right. So whenever you're reading the options, whenever you're reading the text, make sure that you read the sentences completely, very carefully, understand their meaning. Make sure that the information given in the text matches completely with the information given in the option, and then only you mark your answer. And third point for these MCQ type of question is that make sure that you use elimination technique. Now, this is one technique that's really, I would say, super useful when it comes to your MCQs, multiple choice question. You can straight away eliminate some of the options in each question. And the less number of options you have, the less confusion you have, right? So whenever you feel there is certain option that's like completely off the topic, please eliminate that. All right. So these are some of the things that you need to keep in mind for your multiple choice questions in IELTS. And now let's actually solve one practice set of multiple choice question that is related to IELTS. All right. So let's continue the discussion. Over here, you can see that there is this text given over here. It is about Svalbard Seed Bank. So in your reading, each and every comprehension, it has a title given, so that you get an idea that what the reading comprehension is about. So this is about a seed bank that's there in Svalbard. Then these are the questions. As you can see, there is question 1, there is question 2, question 3, and these are the remaining paragraphs of the text 4 and 5, and these are the remaining questions given over here. So today we are going to focus on 6 questions based on a text that has 5 paragraphs. Now, when it comes to your actual examination in general IELTS and in your academic IELTS, when it comes to these MCQs, multiple choice question, so since in your general IELTS, it's going to be there in the third section, which is usually the most complex one out of the three. And in your academic, all the reading comprehensions, they're going to be complex anyway. So multiple choice question will always have a comprehension that is complex, that is, lengthier. So be prepared for that. Be ready for reading a very long, a very lengthy, a very complex reading comprehension, I would say. All right. Especially related to your MCQs. All right. So now let's begin the discussion. All right. So what we're going to do is, as you can see, these are the questions given to me. Each question has 4 options, A, B, C, D. I have to mark one correct answer for each of the question. And there is the text given. Now, again, if you remember, in reading, we use scanning and skimming. So we are going to use those 2 skills again today. Whenever you're doing reading, focus on scanning, focus on skimming. Scanning is, again, let me just very quickly brief it to you. So scanning is where you look for certain keywords from the question in the text. You move your eyes very quickly around the text just to locate those keywords. And skimming is where you read the passage focusing on the main words, but this time you're reading to understand the gist, the summary. All right. So in your MCQs, what you're going to do is you are going to pick keywords from the question, scan the text, and mark your answer accordingly. And there is one more thing that you need to keep in mind. If you remember from our previous video, we already discussed this thing, that some of the questions, they follow the order of the passage, and MCQs, they also do the same. So the order of the questions, in most of the cases, it will follow the order of the text. That means information related to question number 1 will appear first in the text. Then only you will see information related to question number 2, and then information related to question number 3, and so on. So you can note this thing down, that MCQs, they follow the order of the text, and that will make things a bit easier for you. And with that, let's read question number 1. So you need not waste your time reading the text first. Avoid reading the text. Directly come to the questions. Read question number 1. It says, the hidden danger referred to in line 4 is. Now, this is a very particular question that's pointing to a line in reading comprehension. So I am going to focus on that line. It clearly says line 4, and we have to tell that what this hidden danger it refers to. Right? Now, these are the keywords. I'm going to scan line 4 for these keywords and then read around those keywords to make sure that out of A, B, C, D, at least one is my answer over there, right? So, hidden danger, line 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, in this line, it says, this approach guarantees consistently high yields under normal conditions, but it also harbors a hidden danger. So this is the word over here, hidden danger. Now, what does this hidden danger refers to? Here in this sentence, this term has been just introduced. It does not tell us that, what this hidden danger it refers to. It only says that there is some approach being discussed which says that in this approach there is a hidden danger. Let's see if the following lines, they tell us something about this term. So the next line says, essentially, every single commercially grown plant is a clone of one of only a few specially selected pieces of genetic material known as cultivars. These leads to a lack of genetic diversity, leaving crops more exposed to any disease which attacks that single cultivar. Now, danger is a negative term, we know that. And in the following lines, do you see any negative thing? Do you think there is something negative being discussed, kind of a danger, a risk? It clearly says that this leads to a lack of genetic diversity, a negative idea, And because of this lack of genetic diversity, crops are more exposed to any disease which attacks that single cultivar. So both of these are negative ideas, that there is a lack of genetic diversity, and because of that there is exposure to diseases. So these two things can certainly be the hidden danger. Now we go back to the options and try to see if any of these or both of these is discussed, in one option. So let's come back to the question. Question says hidden danger. A option, changing growing conditions. B says local variation reducing crop yields. C says crops being more at risk from disease. Risk, more at risk. D says poor selection of original genetic material. Now, when we read the paragraph, we saw that there were two negative ideas. Number one, lack of diversity. Number two, more exposure to diseases. And out of these, I see one idea in option number C. And that is crops being more at risk from diseases. So I am going to mark C as my answer. Changing growing condition, it has not been discussed as a hidden danger further. Local variations reducing crop yields. Crop yields is not being reduced. There is lack of genetic diversity. So this cannot be my answer. This cannot be my answer. D says poor selection of original genetic material. No, we're not talking about selection of genetic material. It's about lack of genetic diversity. So even this cannot be your answer. So that would be C. Right? And then we come to question number 2. So question number 2, it says, what does the Cavendish banana cultivar serve as an example of? So here my keywords are banana. Cavendish and cultivar are not your keywords. Why? Because if you look at the text very carefully, cultivars, Cavendish, you can see this thing literally everywhere. Even if not, Cavendish, at least cultivar is one term that you can see everywhere in the entire text. So I am not going to say that cultivar is my keyword. Cavendish banana can be. So I am going to scan the text for Cavendish banana. Now, also you have to keep in mind this thing that MCQs, they follow the order of the text. So now my information related to question number will be in lines that are under that sentence where I find the solution for question number 1. So sorry. If I found my answer for question number 1 over here, for question number 2, I am going to read from the next line. That would be from here. So I start reading from this line. It says, with corn, wheat and rice being grown worldwide in this way, there is a concern that a fungal infection could wipe out an entire world crop in a matter of months, causing massive food shortages, right? There is nothing related to Cavendish banana so far. I keep on scanning. There are many types of cultivars of any given agriculture product, each one of a special variety, developed to have characteristics and given a special name. Various cultivars come and out of favor over the years. For example, almost all bananas in the world today are now of the Cavendish variety. But in the mid-20th century, the Cross Michael was the dominant banana cultivar consumed in North America and Europe. So you see this? My keywords, they are surely over here. So once I have found my keywords, I go back to my option that what does Cavendish banana cultivar serve as an example of? Why this, discussion of Cavendish cultivar, it's there in the text. That is what this question means to ask, right? What does the Cavendish banana cultivar serve as an example of? So here, regarding cultivar banana, what's being said is that it was, this Gross Michael was a dominant banana cultivar consumed in North America and Europe. So we're talking around mid-20th century. Then around 1950, however, this variety became virtually extinct due to the rapid spread of a fungal infection. So we're talking about this, and it became virtually extinct. Why? Because of this disease, fungal infection. It attacked the roots of the banana plant with the result that Gross Michael was replaced with the more resilient but notably less tasty Cavendish cultivar. So there was this banana cultivar, and that got, it started being attacked by this fungal disease. And for that, then came Cavendish cultivar. It was less tasty but more resilient. More resilient means it was more resistant to the fungal infection, right? So what does this Cavendish cultivar it serve as an example of? Why it's been mentioned? A cultivar that is preferred by consumers, a cultivar that is resistant to fungal infection, a cultivar that was previously facing extinction, a cultivar that offers good flavor but low yield. Now, according to the text, what is true about Cavendish cultivar? And that is, it is resistant to fungal infection. This will be my correct answer. Why? It clearly says Cavendish cultivar, it was less tasty but more resilient as compared to the earlier one that was facing risks because of fungal infection. So can you say Cavendish banana offers a good flavor? Clearly no. It is less tasty. This cannot be your answer. Cultivar that was previously facing extinction, Cavendish banana was not facing extinction. It was banana cultivar, right? So this, which was consumed in North America and Europe in 1950, that was facing extinction. And in place of that, then came this Cavendish cultivar, right? So this was not facing extinction. A cultivar that is preferred by consumers, now this text does not talk anything related to this part. Like whether it's preferred by consumers or not, it only says that it has a, a less favorable taste. So it's less tasty. We do not know whether consumer, they prefer this one or not. So that cannot be my answer again. Right? So we have the answer for question number 2 as well. Now we come to question number 3. It says, in the third paragraph, what is implied about the use of Solvot seed bank to date? So now it again clearly says in the third paragraph. So we're going to focus on that only. What is implied about use of seed bank? So what is the use of seed bank, or what is, what has been said? Something has been said related to the use of this Solvot seed bank that we have to answer. So your paragraph 3, it says, in order to preserve gene diversity of major food crops, international institutions have established a series of national gene banks, which store samples of various strains of each plant species. On a remote island north of the Arctic Circle, however, there is a sort of master gene bank for all the world's plants. The Solvot seed banks serve as a reserve of last resort. Solvot seed bank serves as a reserve of last resort, and the popular presses emphasize the use of the seed bank as an insurance policy. So this paragraph is definitely talking about use of this seed bank, something that our question clearly asks. Further, it says that it serves as an insurance policy in case of a major global catastrophe. To date, it has more frequently been accessed. Frequently accessed for what? When national gene banks lose samples due to accident, equipment failures, natural disasters, and all too often mismanagement. So this one certainly talks about the use of seed bank. Right now we come back to our options. Option number 1 says, mostly being used in response to situations which could have been avoided. B says, generally being used in situations resulting from natural disasters. C says, it has not been used as much as has been suggested in the media. And D says, it's been used more by some countries than by others. Now, if you apply the technique of elimination that I was talking about again, this paragraph does not at all says that it's been used by some countries more as compared to other countries. This cannot be my answer. Similarly, option number C, it has not been used as much as has been suggested in the media. Does the media says that it has been used more as compared to what the reality is? Definitely not. Nothing in this paragraph confirms this. This cannot be my answer. Option number A, mostly being used in response to situations which could have been avoided. Situations that could have been avoided, mostly used. These are the keywords of options. B says, generally being used in situations resulting from natural disasters. So both of the statements are there in my paragraph. Now I have to pick the correct one out of these two. So I come back to my paragraph. To date, it has more frequently been accessed when national gene banks lose samples due to accidents, equipment failures, it says natural disasters, and then it says all too often mismanagement. All too often means as compared to others, it's been mostly used in cases of mismanagement. Mostly being used in responses to situation which could have been avoided. Mismanagement, situation that could have been avoided. It's paraphrasing. And it clearly says so. All too often mismanagement. Right? Now, if I look at option number B, why option B is incorrect is because it only says generally used in natural disasters. Yes, it's generally used in natural disaster, but that is not the only thing. There are other things as well. When national gene banks lose samples due to accident, equipment failure, natural disaster. These are the three things. And option B only says natural disasters. So that is why this cannot be the correct option. A is going to be the correct answer. So with that, we are done with at least 3 questions. So we are halfway through. Now let's focus on the rest of the 3. Alright, so now we come to question number 4. It says, according to the 4th paragraph, people requiring access to the seeds at Svalbard should. So here my keywords are people who require access to the seeds at this bank, they should. So these are my keywords in para 4. Let's see what does para 4 says. So I am going to focus on these keywords, require access to the seeds, people. So 4th, it says you have to actually quickly scan it over here. I'm reading it, like each and every word, but in your exam, you have to quickly scan for the keywords. So here, paragraph 4 says, the bank is located in an old copper mine on the remote northern island of Spitsbergen in Norway. The facility has a capacity to conserve 4.5 million seed samples under the current temperature conditions in the vault, similar to those in a kitchen freezer. The seed samples from many fruits and vegetables can remain viable for hundreds of years. Some seeds, including those of important grains, can survive far longer, anywhere from 2,000 to 20,000 years. The bank functions like a safety deposit box in a commercial bank. While the bank owns the building, the individual depositor owns the content of his or her box, and access to individual specimen is regulated by their respective depositor. So who has the access to the seeds? The respective depositor, the one who deposited those seeds. No depositor has access to another depositor's seeds. The seed samples stored in the bank are copies of samples stored in the depositing gene banks. Researchers, plant breeders, and other groups wishing to access seed samples cannot do so through the seed bank. That means researcher, plant breeders, and other groups, if they want to access the seed, they cannot do it only through seed bank. They must request samples from the depositing gene banks. So depositing gene banks should be contacted. Now look at the options for question number 4. A says apply directly to the seed bank. No, you cannot apply directly to the seed bank. It clearly says you cannot do so through the seed bank. B says contact those who originally deposit the seeds. Yes, this is the answer. Why? Access to individual specimen is regulated by the respective depositors. Must request sample from the depositing gene banks. Means access can only be given by those who deposited the seeds. Contact those who originally deposited the seeds. Clearly written, right? Option number C says visit the building where the seeds are held in person. No. You don't have to visit any building. It clearly does not say anything related to it. D says ask for the samples to be transferred to them by secure means. Again, there is no discussion of transferring the samples through any secure means. So C and D are completely off the topic. B would be the correct answer for this one. Now we come to question number 5. Which aspect of Solvert seed bank security does the writer regard as most important? That means, what is that thing related to seed bank security which is the most important according to the writer? So, nothing related to security was there in para 4. We just saw that my keywords here are security. In para 4, there was nothing related to it. So, I come to para 5. I know that these questions, they follow the order. So, my next question will have information here, somewhere here, right? The main storage vault is dug into a sandstone mountain on a seismically inactive island. The bank employs a number of robust security, I have my keyword, and preservation systems. Seeds are packaged in special packets and heat sealed to exclude moisture. A local coal mine and power plant supply the electricity for refrigeration control, and crucially, the remote northern location also serves as a natural fridge. So here we are talking about security of the seed bank. Security of the seed bank. And what is that one thing that is most important according to the writer? So here, your word that clearly defines the most important aspect is this word, crucially. Crucially means something that is most important, crucial. What is that related to seed bank security? Crucially, the remote northern location also serves as a natural fridge. That means out of all the things discussed related to the security, what is the most important thing according to the writer? That is the northern location which serves as a natural fridge. And if I look at the options, this one clearly says so. Prevailing temperature at the site. So the location, it serves as a fridge, means the temperature, they're extremely low, they are controlled. Prevailing temperature at the site. Most important aspect is this, not volcanic activity. It is actually absence of volcanic activity. Yes, but this is not the most important aspect according to the author. He has used a word crucially to define that one particular feature that is the most important according to him, right? So these cannot be my answers. And now we come to the very last question, the writer's main point in writing this passage. Now this is related to main idea. Here, your scanning is not going to work. You will have to understand the main idea based on, whatever you read in the text. You have to combine all the information. Then read the options and see which gives kind of a summary that what this text is about. So option number A says, trace several recent developments in agriculture science. B says, discuss the dangers facing various national gene banks. C says, show why reliance on one cultivar can be dangerous. And D says, explain the role of the master seed bank in Norway. Now, if I ask you, out of these options, what is that one thing that is entirely being repeated in the text? Is it developments in agriculture science? It's not about development. That is a very generic option. We are only focusing on seed bank in Norway. We are talking about a very specific topic. This is too generic, too generalized. Cannot be my answer. B says, discuss the dangers facing various national gene banks. Now this text, it's not only about dangers. There are many more things discussed, right? Dangers. So dangers is something that I can hardly see in the text. Where do you see dangers being mentioned? In para A, it talks about, this hidden danger, yes, but that is related to, about this approach, right? Then B was about the history. C was about the use of seed bank. Fourth para that we just read, it was about who can access. And the last para, it's about its important aspects, different aspects. We do not see anything related to dangers facing various national gene banks. That's not at all there. Show why reliance on one cultivar can be danger. So again, is the paragraph talking about over reliance on one cultivar? No. It definitely does not, only focuses on one cultivar. There were different types of cultivar mentioned. They were discussing the history related to them, then how a different variety came into picture, and then as we just saw, there are many more things in the text for sure. Cannot be my answer. Explain the role of master seed bank in Norway. Yes, the entire text is about seed bank in Norway. So if you look at option number 4, it says explain the role of the master seed bank in Norway. Yes, the whole text is about seed bank in Norway, its role, its use as a last resort in certain situations, right? How it's used all over the world, right? So definitely the main point in writing this passage is to explain the role of the master seed bank in Norway. The whole passage is about this, right? So with that, we have discussed 6 questions of multiple choice types that are asked in your IELTS, be it general, be it academic. And this is how you solve them. Use scanning, use skimming, focus on the keywords, verify the information completely with the text, eliminate certain options wherever you can, and remember this point, yes, remember this point that the order of the questions is going to follow the order of the text. That make things easier for you for sure. All right, so that's it for today, and I'll be coming with many more videos for you people where we'll be discussing many other question types of IELTS reading. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it so far, so that you do not miss out on any such video. Like my videos, share them with your friends whosoever need them, and keep on watching all my videos, keep on following my channel. See you in the next videos. See you in the next class with lots of other questions. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.